Well, an gédal sios mín lam ma weekas a gwaal a Georgina Potsa sagt an cuire giuldam bhéliamh agus Pórta Ghlaco I gilúra an dahad bliana tá buinte macag I gobar san muinter na háite agus ach go háire daine de gach isgrúpa. It's such a very great pleasure to have this opportunity to join you all today, and as I've just said, I'm so grateful to Georgina Potts for inviting me to come and be part of the celebration of 40 years working for the community, all age groups, and making such a contribution. I see so many friends here. I should have begun, of course, by saying, because it is so important that you have the support of public representatives. I see the Minister, Mary Mitchell O'Connor here, and my former colleague, the former Count Cola, who kept me in order most of the time during my previous incarnation, and Mary, who is and I who travelled together in interest in education. And also I see there one of the great pioneers in making the case for housing, P.J. Drudy and Sheila now, who were colleagues in matters sociological years ago. So I want to say Smínlam Kamala Shin and Mawikas Agwala Saktan Firkin Falcha a Danishiv Gare Roim. I thank you all for the very warm reception that you have given me. It's very special to be in a place, a building, and a setting that is providing so many services, surrounded by houses, and also the fact that it is so well integrated into the community. I met some of the very youngest beneficiaries of the facilities from 2 years up, really from preschool and to post-school. I also think that 40 years no doubt is a very important. There will be people who will remember the first decision, and it must have been an inspired decision to take this house, which had its own history from so long ago, and use it for the benefit of the public in general. I think that the house stretches back almost 200 years ago, when the visit of Shankill didn't exist. And it has had many lives poured through it in different times. 1817, which is pitched between the two famines in Ireland, a neglected famine of 1815, which 65,000 people died, and the other famine which would come later in the 1840s. So from the time that William Hopper took out a lease of land on 160 acres in Shanganagh and built the house which he called Shanganagh House, now known as Shanganagh Park House, so much has happened. I like to think myself in one of the ways, and it's maybe something we have to make sure for the future, is that when spaces are occupied by people, they are at their best. So therefore, green spaces, open spaces, spaces for people of all ages, people for youngsters who are able to share together moments of childhood, and so that every child will have a childhood, and also different skills, like I saw in the Vitos course, and the people who are preparing to start their own business, and then particularly young people, and so on. Not in a patronizing way, but simply having the space to come to and be together and take care of their lives. I congratulate the local authorities every time that they work with the voluntary sector, and that they break away from any restrictions that are on them in towards using public spaces. We need public spaces. My temporary dwelling is in the largest public space in Europe, in the Phoenix Park. But I must say, Sabine and I, and we got caught today where we were, in fact, our diary means Sabine is doing a function at the same time as myself. So there it is, but she will be out again because she's fairly unstoppable in matters like that. But I think that the 40th anniversary of the creation of something that is very valuable. I'm glad I had the opportunity of meeting so many of the staff who are working with people of different ages. What better way of spending your life and of pouring your life and your talents into the work, into care. I think that not only I have been speaking recently about the importance of redefining work. All work is important. from every breath a person takes that's to the benefit of another person and themselves. And those who are involved in caring, those who are giving of their skills, sometimes for being paid for it, sometimes doing it voluntarily, but always exercising their own talents in a dignified way. It's so important. And I think it's when you come into the heart of communities like this, for example, simple things, that the facilities in the playground are used for those who are here in the morning and they're available to the surrounding houses in the afternoon. This concept of sharing, the concept of filling life with caring for other people, of seeing all work as important work, and of seeing it as not just something that is a unit of labour to be shifted from one sector to another, but it's what different people do with different talents and different capacities at different ages. That's what I was discussing a couple of weeks ago with Pope Francis. And I think that's very, very important. And it's very important that we turn everything around so as to take stock of where we are, what kind of future we want. And do we want a future where can you imagine if instead of having what you have here, you had a whole string of gated communities, with one part of the community living behind gate, wondering when are they coming to get at us, and the rest of the people would know where to go. This is madness. And the one most marvellous thing is I move around the country and I can see where in fact you get good thinking, good decisions, good cooperation between the voluntary sector, the NGO sector, local authorities, people with imagination, saying we'll do it because it's the right thing to do. Everything becomes possible. So I think that the building I have just come out of, that is your building, that you share together, is a hub of activity from morning till night. I wish you well with the extension which will go up as well. But I don't underestimate how all this comes to be. People give of their time, which is often their most precious resource. And also something else as well. I've seen it in relation to the worst of planning as well. In Galway now, for example, a hotel which was all the people had in one part of the city is about to be changed. And it was there the local residents committee met monthly. I remember Sabina used to be chair of that committee. But in this building, the people who meet here for the committee meetings, the support groups, I saw the suggestion box and I saw all the notices on the wall about things that you could do inside and outside and so forth. All of that is important. And also the giving of information. On one wall I saw, for example, Show Racism, the red card, which I remember well from my times with Galway United when we were one of the people who sponsored that development. But it's in the building that youngsters will find information on mental health, self-esteem, the importance of anti-racism, LGBT issues, how we can set about the creation of a more inclusive society. And in everything, all of this is coming back to something as well. It's about providing sufficiency. Providing what is sufficient for a community to live well. And it's saying to people who, the alternative to that is insatiability. And that is you destroy yourself through insatiability, destroying environments through insatiability, destroying whole countries through the insatiability of greed. And I think I have the greatest hope that things are turning because people are saying, there are certain things that didn't work, and there are new ways of doing things. But the one thing we do know, everyone is happiest when they're doing things together, and they're doing it beyond the self for communities. I want to congratulate everyone who has been gachtainna bhí carach again in ein qui, the carach fall na hoisnitar fall in Shanganagh Park House at the present time. I so congratulate all of those who took those good decisions originally, inspired decisions, and all those who have been of assistance in every way. Is going gachas rogs banach don tauki a gachra to make a shulagi don tauki. And I so wish every health and blessing to those who will come and be part here and work here and continue to do this important work into the future. Finally, Marfus Gurkun Creek, in order to finish as well, may I say, the poem that was put together, the group poem that is inside by the children, and which was assisted by the John Larry Ratdown writer in residence Sarah Webb and poet Lucinda Jacob, is very, very, very clever. Very, very good. Doing as it is in these beautiful lines with great lines. I'm an electric tower sending out waves of power. Or saying, how do children? It expresses the affection and feeling and the essence of what people feel about Shankill. As one other line has it, a street light shining in the dark. All of this, that poem, I think summarises very, very well an understanding of what makes a community special, unique and so forth. So, Arish, gan buicas le gachtain a dagger gan ochhaid seo, tres liam le vas, an da had vliana buint amach a gobar son colluder is muint an a harche. Is barbanacht. Gonna be in a mahagi. Thank you very much.